and Happy New Year! Woo! I'm still really bad at starting these vlogs. Some things never change. Hello, yeah, Happy New Year. Excitement, yay. I'm trying to think of like what to talk about in this video, because I know next week's is going to be, again, hopefully a more structured video where I lay out some of my goals for this next year and how I'm going to be handling it, and give you a peek at my bullet journal that I'm working surprisingly hard on, even though I can't draw a straight line with a pen. So that's all coming next week, which means I'm sitting here trying, again, not to talk about something like that. But these vlogs are meant to be more of a reflection on what's happened in like the past 2 weeks. And I'm just kind of trying to remember, because I can remember this week much clearer than I can remember last week. And I think it's because last week, not much of anything happened. Was it Christmas? Am I thinking about Christmas? God, Christmas wasn't that close, was it? I had a vlog in between. Now I gotta check the calendar. Yeah, no, it was Christmas. Wow, okay, yeah, okay. Ooh. So Christmas happened the previous week. And that was nice. Again, it was quiet. It was just me and my parents and my brother. I got a very nice house coat. And I got a brand new DVD player and Blu-ray player, because I used to have one. Because I got a TV in my room. Because I used to have my own apartment. So that was my TV in my apartment. And I used to have a Blu-ray player. Except when I moved into this apartment, the one my parents had on the main TV died, so rather than just getting a new one then, we just used mine. Which was fine, but now that we have an additional person living in the apartment, there's been less time for me to have access, especially since I am working. So being able to just sit down and watch my own movie has been a little harder. So for Christmas, I got the new one, so I can now watch things on this television, along of course with my Wii and my Switch, which I'll fully admit I thought I was going to use attached to the television a lot more, but like so many people I've heard before me, I played it with the television the first time, I went mobile with it, and I've never reattached it to the television. It's so nice, and the screen's big enough that it doesn't feel like I am playing on a handheld. Right? So, yeah, some very nice gifts of the house coat you saw in the last video, and it makes me gloriously fuzzy, and I love it. So yeah, that was Christmas, and then I spent most of the time working, because I've been working both at the store right now and walking tours while we're in this sort of winter season. The walking tours for the winter season actually finish up this weekend. So my last 3 shifts are just walking tours. So I have a walking tour today. And this is actually getting filmed today and posted, because I just have the walking tour shift tomorrow and Sunday. And then my work hours decrease coming up, because it is the winter season where there's no like external activities going on like the walking tours, and people coming into the store severely decreases, you know, because it's cold and we're right down by the waterfront, so like it's very cold and windy, so less people out. And we go down from having 3 people in a shift, which was sort of us in this shoulder Christmas season, to just 2. We don't double up, because it used to be somebody worked a longer shift where they doubled up for everybody. But Now it's just somebody opens, somebody closes, and that's it. So that makes sense. And I'm actually going to use this time to work on like my book and page buffer and my own projects, because then when we hit the summer season and the tourism season, I rapidly lose a lot of time available. So it makes sense, while I'm down on work hours, I up what I'm doing for my other projects. So that's exciting. Trying to think, so yeah, there was Christmas and I worked a lot, but work hours are easing off. I guess then there was New Year's, and I actually kind of went out for New Year's Eve. So I do work at a shop connected to tourism. Like I said, I also do the walking tours. And we got codes that gave us a free ticket to this big light show event that is actually, it's put on worldwide. There's this company that does all these Lumina light shows around the world. And we're really lucky because we have one in the city. It's up at the old fort, which is a fantastic place. And basically what the show is a lot of visual, especially lit effects and music. And there's some interaction, there's some really cool interaction. And the fort is a really cool place because it's, for the most part, all in the ditch around the fort, which has the 2 stone walls. So it's a really good projection surface, and then the acoustics for the music. And so a friend of mine at work was like, hey, really want to go to this. I don't want to go by myself. Do you want to go? And I said, sure, why don't we go New Year's Eve? And I said New Year's Eve because the store actually, we were the only 2 at the store that day, and it closed 2 hours early. So that would give us more time to go and have supper and then go to this event. And she was like, sure, let's do this. So our supper plans originally fell through because a lot of places were closed for New Year's. But we actually found this very cool crepe place that she had been to before, where we had supper. And then we walked over, caught the shuttle up the hill to the fort, and did this Lumina event. I was absolutely blown away. I'll fully admit my expectations were lower because I had heard some communication complaints, like they weren't sure where to go and the kids were bored and things like that. And it was raining that night. But we got in there, and it was kind of funny because a girl I worked with this summer, both of us worked with this summer, was actually working this Lumina event. So we chatted with her for a bit, and then my friend needed to run to the washroom. And so I'm out in this dark courtyard, and it's the opening area you go into when you're in the fort, and there's buildings around that house like all those shops and the bakery and things like that. And it's all dark, but there's just this haunting orchestral music coming. And the way the fort sits on the hill, you then can see out onto the water. And I would normally name the body of water, but there's actually like 3 that you're looking at that point, because you can see the meeting point between these 3 bodies of water. But it's water. But of course it's at night and it's raining, so it's absolutely dark. And it's just this void I'm staring into with this orchestral music, and I was like, okay. And then we go into this event, and the lights are just absolutely beautiful. They had these icebergs set up, and they had this forest where all these pine trees were lit with Christmas lights, fairy lights, but they went in and out and faded with the music. And then there was this point where they had these 3 sections on the wall, and everything had been blue-white up to that point, but you come into this section and it's red and orange lights. And what it is there's actually a motion sensor. So you stand in the motion sensor area, and the light starts reacting to you being there, and it shows you kind of like Patronus, the animal, right? And there was one, it didn't seem to be reacting well, and I was like, I wonder if it's my umbrella. So I just put my umbrella down and kind of held out my arms to be like, hi, I'm here. and right when I held out my arms, the like lights just started crackling and making this fire noise, and then this bird just flew up like with its wings spread, and I was like like it was just this moment where I wasn't expecting, and my movement just matched it so well, and I was just like, oh, okay, 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 I am having an emotional connection to lights and music. Okay, okay. And luckily she was also having this connection. It wasn't like one of us was just like, oh, and the other person was like, I am so bored. And we just walked around, and there were some interaction places where like you could actually use your voice to make lights interact with you, to grow snowflakes, things like that. It was very cool. It was so cool. And we were a little sad because we were like, oh, there's a gift shop. I really want some like Lumina gifts. They did not in fact have Lumina gifts. And that's because I found out afterwards that this is in fact like an international company that does these around the world. It's not just an event put on by the fort. So I was just like, okay, I understand it. But it was just this absolutely fantastic moment. And then we headed home because like, between all the walking we had to do, because we had to walk pretty far uphill to find a great place, come back down, and then walk over to the fort. We didn't walk that hill. Like I said, we took the shuttle. But then we went home, and I made it to about 11 o'clock before I was like, tapping out. Time to go to bed. I am an old woman. I would like to sleep now. Please and thank you. So I did. But it was nice. And then when I saw her the next time I worked, we were both really grateful because we wouldn't have had something to do otherwise. And it's been a very long time for each of us to have had people like to go out with. So that was nice. So Christmas and New Year's, yeah, those were big events. Work's been going well. We slowed down, but it's going well. I'm trying to think of, yeah, no, that's kind of it. I mean, getting into the new year's been weird. It doesn't look like it at all, but I've actually been cleaning up. Like, I had New Year's Day off, the store was closed, so I went through all my old paperwork, and I cleared out all the old paperwork, and I filed all the newer paperwork. So that's cool. And like I said, I have been cleaning up. It doesn't look like it right now, but I have been. My beautiful stack of books to be read, which I think I need to get down to like the last two in this stack. Again, the stack gets shifted. This is not how the order in which I'm going to read them. But just two left before I get more books. I think that's a thing I have to tell myself that we're gonna do. Trying to think, like I said, I have the shift later today, and I've got to send some emails. That's the other important thing, and I'm doing this so I can edit this, and while it's rendering, I can send some emails and I can post this. Yeah, I've got to send some emails to a couple different people. Being an adult is great. I love it. I love it. It's fantastic, and I love it. So, I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. Send some emails. Edit this. Figure things out. It's the new year. I already feel like I have no idea what's going on. But hey, I will figure it out. I don't know what I'm doing. Apparently I'm figuring it out. If you didn't get that from like the 5 times I just said it. So yeah, okay, now I think I need to end this, edit it, send some emails, do my shift, party rock. So I'll talk to you later. See ya.